friend of mine really appreciates bad films, and one of her favorites is Troll 2. I'd never seen it before, didn't know anything about it, and decided we're gonna watch this tonight. I knew it was gonna be stupid. I knew it was gonna be so bad it's good. And the thing is, in many ways, it was as terrible as I imagined, but in other ways, it was a lot better than I imagined. Okay, so Troll 2 is not a sequel to a movie called Troll. It has no relation to it, which makes no sense. Very little makes any sense in this movie. Knowing that going in and watching it with someone who's so passionate about it did make for a great experience. I love the weirdness in it. The thing is, in some ways, it's actually a very competently made film. This is known as one of the best so bad it's good movies. The best worst movie. It's the name of its documentary. It's got a cult following. Maybe an actual cult, for all I know. The monsters are goblins, not trolls. I have not seen the documentary. I don't know the backstory at this point in time. I've only seen the film. So I don't know a lot of the behind the scenes stories other than what my friend told me during this viewing. I was actually surprised at the technical stuff going into it, because I knew it was going to be bad, but the cinematography is actually pretty good. The editing's quite good. The score, completely miscast and reminded me a lot of Labyrinth, is actually not bad. It's just the writing, directing, and acting that's terrible. The thing is, Troll 2 actually had the potential to be a good film. And it is completely unique. It has a good look. It has good atmosphere. It is actually very competently made. It's made very, very funny when I was told that the crew was trying to make a good film, but failed so spectacularly. They made something good, considering it's got a fan base. Man, the acting is delightfully awkward. It is charming. The witch was very funny. Thing is, when she was the gray goth witch before she actually transforms, she was reminding me of a theater kid. Everything about that performance felt like, oh, this is somebody going to a conservatory. This is someone going through her goth phase in college or high school. Even the actress, I think, was older. She looks older when she transforms into the witch. It's... Again, I was surprised and some of the effects are actually quite good. While a lot of it is dumb, the food looks disgusting, the sweat looks terrible. It's... The human-plant hybrids, whenever that's on screen, that always looks really cool and really good. And there are times it's actually quite convincing. That was really cool to see. They're not too bad overall, and the designs for the goblins, and not the trolls, okay, are actually pretty creative too in their own right. They are hilariously stupid. It's funny, apparently, again, I'm amazed at how much the crew was trying to make it good. The acting, and even the main kid, Joshua, who's about to turn into a tree, and they never once used the Joshua Tree pun, which is a national park, beautiful area. I've never actually been. Seriously, why didn't they make that pun? Maybe it was over their heads. I know they filmed in Utah, which, that's funny. I think, did they say where it took place? I can't remember. I was focusing on the corny lines. But I didn't think the main kid was that bad an actor. I thought, because he had a really distinctive look. I could have seen that kid, I think the guy's name, Michael Stevenson, I think his name is. I didn't look too hard at the credits, and I'm also tired. I didn't think he was that bad. I thought, okay, maybe a couple years of practice in some acting classes and a better director, this kid could have turned in a good performance. because he's very, very expressive. I don't know his backstory. Apparently he was very embarrassed by this film for a very long time, but then was the person who was responsible for the documentary. I think he's directing other stuff now, so I think he's okay. And there were maybe one or two side characters who weren't that bad. The friend of mine really likes the guy playing the priest. Didn't think he was too bad in the cult scene where they feed him ice cream or whatever that was supposed to be. Man, do I appreciate the cheesiness in this movie. There is a love in my heart for this, a certain kind of so bad it's good. I do appreciate campy. I definitely appreciate this 80s, 90s campy horror film. Because I like the look of it. I don't like body horror all that much, but I could handle the human plant scenes pretty well. This movie was better than I expected. It's funny because it is, half of it is very competently made and it is so doing its own thing. But the other half is this hilarious, beautiful train wreck, and they come together in this very great fashion. It doesn't surprise me that this movie has a fan base. Thing is, I don't know if I would even call this overall a bad film. I definitely put in the so bad it's good category. But it is competently made. It really is. I love that they had to point out that Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards. And yeah, you know, because we couldn't figure it out on our own, they have to tell us. Grandpa Seth was hilarious. Again, because they said he's already dead when the movie starts, and that's why the main character, Joshua, or Josh, can see him. But then he dies again, so it's like, wait, are you immortal? Did you die twice? Grandpa Seth died twice. I have actually heard the famous line, oh my god, they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me, and that hilariously dramatic, oh my god, with the fly on his head. That was a great line. That was clearly an internet meme. I have heard that in other videos. I didn't realize it was from this. And now I know. Yep, hilariously overdramatic. Not as bad. I feel like because I knew it was bad going into it, I was expecting so much worse. But it certainly didn't disappoint. I appreciated its cheesiness. I appreciated the energy everybody brought to it. I appreciate how it was surprisingly easy to follow. It didn't make much sense, but it was also easy to follow. It had a very interesting balance that way, because there is a popcorn scene that makes 0 sense. It is hilarious. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. But the movie is surprisingly cohesive. You can get the general horror movie story plot from it pretty quickly. If you're looking for continuity and these little consistencies, then you're gonna drive yourself nuts. But if you just go with it and accept its strangeness and enjoy pointing out the things that make no sense, but are along for the ride anyway, you'll enjoy this movie. I think it's one of those films you really gotta know what it is going into it, which makes it more fun. The expectation helps. Overall, like I said, surprisingly a competently made movie. The important stuff is a hilarious train wreck. It is this amazing combination. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I'm sure it's cultish fan base, niche fan base. I'm sure its fan base, its cult following, is enjoying it right now out there.